since 2013, coming in at 17-3, led by first-year head coach James Ramsey. Facing the Auburn Tigers this afternoon, riding a 10-game winning streak, their highest ranking since 2017, led by head coach Butch Thompson. Hello everybody and welcome into Plainsman Park. A beautiful afternoon for a top 5 baseball matchup between the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And I'm Rip Bowen, joined by the former big leaguer Greg Olson. And Greg, this sets up a huge week at Plainsman Park. What are you looking forward to today?
Oh, well, you got number 1 Texas coming in this weekend, but tonight, number 3 versus number 5. Best offense in the country, arguably the best pitching staff in the country, going head-to-head tonight on the Plains.
Great matchup, 249th meeting between Auburn and Georgia Tech. So much history between these two teams, and today talking a ton of offense. Stars on both sides, starting with the Tigers. Greg, it's a trio of sophomores at the top. Rembert, Freilich, Terrell getting the job done right now for Butch Thompson.
That's the top of the batting order right there. Rembert getting healthy, batting average climbing. Bub Terrell, 5-tool player. Freilich, one of the best catchers in the country.
Well, you look at Georgia Tech, statistically, they are, Greg, the best offense in the country, 1 through 9. And for Georgia Tech, I mean, they lead the country in walks, batting average, hits, up and down. Again, collectively, the best there is out there.
Yeah, they've scored 254 runs through the first 20 games, most in the BB Core era since 2011.
And for Georgia Tech, it starts with this guy at the top, center fielder Drew Burris, 7 doubles, 7th in the ACC. Greg, he does something better than just about anybody. Finds a way on base, again hitting .313.
2-time All-American in his 3rd year at Georgia Tech, leading off, great player. Right now, not hitting to the standards that we're used to seeing, but loaded lineup behind him.
Through 9, no holes in this lineup for Georgia Tech, and a big outing and a tall task for Andreas Alvarez, the sophomore, getting the start for Auburn.
Alvarez will feature fastball low 90s, 93 to 96. Good location, low whip, low walk rate. He pounds the zone with the fastball.
And with that, we are underway for the 249th meeting between Auburn and Georgia Tech, the first ever top 5 matchup between the foes. Alvarez working away on Burris early, falling behind 2 balls, no strikes. Alvarez, Greg got a chance to see him last week against UAB. Looked solid in that outing and carried the Tigers to a midweek victory.
He's off to a good start. His lone loss against Cincinnati a couple weeks ago. Here's an issue, and I'll probably talk about it more, and it'll probably be ad nauseum, but when it gets this cold, the baseball becomes a little bit thin filmed. It's hard to grip. It's hard to get a great grip on.
Getting a strike, he got one against Burris. Again, the table setter, the top of this lineup for Georgia Tech, a junior from Houston County, Georgia. And lost him away for a leadoff walk. Tech has their first base runner of the day, a freebie from Alvarez. And Greg, one of the keys coming in, I thought, for Auburn against Georgia Tech and for Alvarez is getting ahead, staying ahead, something easier said than done against this lineup.
That's exactly it. He's got to get ahead. He has done that very well this year. I mean, 2-1, 1.37, 109 whip. Great job getting ahead and getting quick outs. A lot of punch outs in those 19 innings as well.
Alex Hernandez, next batter up. Alvarez gets ahead, 0-1. One thing Butch Thompson talked about for Alvarez was really relying on his last 8 starts. Greg, you look back in 35 innings, only 3 earned runs given up, and he's done that against NCAA tournament quality opponents.
Yeah, got off to, just great tournament resume last year, regionals and super regionals. Struggled a little bit against Cincinnati, but got things back on track his last couple starts. Good outing against UAB last week, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs. 4 strikeouts. The week before against Samford, a regional team, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 8 punch-outs. So you're going to see a lot of fastballs, slider.
That one got away from Bingham, and free base for Burris. And Tech putting pressure on Auburn early. Runner at second with nobody out here in the first.
Well, first pickoff move was good. He tried to go a little bit better and be quicker. Burris 3 for 6 on the year in stolen bases. This looks like it hits the first base umpire, Jeremy Dupree.
Oof.
Welcome to the Plains. 45 degrees out here. Last thing you're expecting is to get hit with a baseball as the first base umpire.
And looks like it went off the knee of the first base umpire, Dupree. He walked it off.
He's not rubbing it.
It's the difference between him and me. 1-2 inside. Freilich tries to frame on the inside corner. Count work now, 2-2.
Hernandez on the year, 14 of 20 in even counts. That's 700. Brett, my Auburn math.
Down on strikes, Alvarez beats him outside for a strikeout. So Alvarez, Greg, able to come back after a leadoff walk and a runner on second.
Yeah, really nice job of getting over that bad throw to first base, getting back in the count. That's a curveball that he's throwing right there. Upper part of the velocity on that. Usually 74 to 77. That one's 78. Dials one up on 2 strikes.
He'll face Jaron Avenkula, starting second baseman for the Yellow Jackets. Avenkula having a great year, hitting .375. Third on the team, 24 runs batted in. He's gone deep 4 times. It's one through the left side. Wade told him to score is Burris. Terrell, no throw home, an RBI single for Avenkula. And Georgia Tech strikes first. It's 1-0 Yellow Jackets.
All right, now there's something I want you to keep an eye on. Burris was at second base. Pitch before that was a curveball that missed down, I think. I thought it was a strike. He leaked his right arm out and gave a straight right arm. Next pitch is a fastball away. He puts his left arm out, points towards second base. It's a fastball. Avenkula right on time, drives it to left field. So let's keep an eye on the runners at Georgia Tech if they are going to be tipping pitches coming from the catcher.
First pitch strike into Lackey, Greg, so adjustments to make on that.
It's that little look right there. Fastball away. He stays with it, drives it to the left fielder for a base hit. Something to think about because it was the exact opposite arm, the exact opposite motion the pitch before, and it was a completely different pitch, and it was a curveball.
Now has to face the ACC Player of the Week in Lackey.
I'm going to say that 1 run's probably not going to win this game.
Well, in knowing that.
Let's keep it to 1 run, though, if you're Auburn.
Alvarez missing outside, 2 balls and a strike, and that's the thing. Starting pitcher and even a defense giving up the first run in the top half. What's the mindset early? Is again, you don't want to put up obviously more runs and dig yourself in a hole.
No, and that leadoff walk is definitely a no-no for a starting pitcher. But as I said, Alvarez did not intend to do that. You go out there, it's cold. Doesn't matter how much you warm up, how much you get a feel for the baseball. Now all of a sudden you got a 2-time All-American on the at the plate, and then you got a good lineup coming up after that. Just probably, you know, Alvarez didn't quite lock in on what needed to get done from pitch 1.
Well, but on the flip side, Georgia Tech has a chance to put up some crooked numbers. Lackey behind, good spin there from Alvarez, makes it 2-2. Lackey's story of the week, played 8 positions in a single day against West Georgia last week. and was just a single shy of the cycle. He tails one foul and out of reach for Mason McCrane. Yeah, his numbers last week were pretty incredible. 600 average, 3 homers, 5 runs batted in, 7 runs scored, 6 extra base hits to lead the ACC.
Just amazing numbers. All that versus a number 8 Clemson team.
Well, that's what's interesting about this week for Auburn and Georgia Tech. Tech coming off the big matchup with Clemson last weekend. This coming weekend for Auburn, Tigers get number 2 Texas rolling into town.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just going to be on and on for the Auburn Tigers, and looking at their upcoming schedule, it's not going to get any easier. You got number 3, number 2 Texas, and then goes Alabama, Arkansas, who's usually ranked.
3-2 is high. Snap throw doesn't matter. No, excuse me. Lackey down on strikes. Big out for Alvarez, and again, Fralick keeping the runner in check down at first. As 2 outs after the go-ahead RBI single by Avincula, as Tech up 1-0. That'll bring up Kent Schmidt, the first baseman.
Alvarez going with a 3-2 breaking ball. I like it because you got the runner that you're assuming on the 3-2 1 out is going to be taking off. So in essence, I got an open base. He goes with the 3-2 hook. Gets a called 3rd strike, has a chance to get out of this with only 1 run damage.
Schmidt, a Georgia Southern transfer. .375 this year.
Should have qualified for All-American last year, but missed 20 games due to an injury.
And making his 13th start today. Alvarez nibbling, makes it 2-1. Solid weekend for Schmidt against Clemson, though. 3 hits, 5 runs batted in, had a home run in the win in game 2. Alvarez allowed 1, but come back with 2 strikeouts. 2-1 with a hook. It's in there for a strike.
Alvarez finding the feel for the curveball. Normally it's fastball slider. Today so far he's got a really good feel for the 12-6 curveball.
Inside, a little off the plate.
Changeup just missed. A little bit of arm side run. So he has shown pretty much everything to Schmidt this at bat.
Payoff, nibbling, ball 4 outside is 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. Second walk of the inning for Andreas Alvarez. It's an opportunity with Ryan Zuckerman now with 2 outs. So Alvarez, though, Greg, the misses, they've been close misses.
They've been close. So we had 6 walks all year in 19 innings.
And a first pitch on the 3rd baseman, Zuckerman. On the hook, makes it 0-2. Alvarez comes back, pounding the zone after the 2-out walk.
Zuckerman transfer from Pitt. 13 bombs last year, hit .295.
He'll face his former team this weekend. Good eye on the 0-2. That's the thing you mentioned. His 8 home runs, 2nd on the team. I mean, 1 through 9, you can't hang one.
No, this team is flat out loaded. Talked about the most runs they've scored in the 131 years.
This one skied right field line.
Oh, misplayed out and right.
Couldn't tell McCrane if he was going to have a play on it or going to fall down towards the net. Not a ton of room down that right field line at Plainsman Park. Mason McCrane, he's a freshman, though, that's taking the Plains by storm. He and his brother Brandon at short.
Had a chance to get out of that inning right there. Ball fell behind him. Misjudged the wind.
1-2 and got him. Foul tip to the mitt of Freilich. But Georgia Tech strikes first in the first. They get a run off one hit. Tigers will try to get it back when we come back at Plainsman Park. Bottom of the first on a packed house at Plainsman Park. First ever top 5 matchup between Auburn and Georgia Tech. Tech leads 1-0 headed to the bottom of the first thanks to an RBI single from Jaron Inmankula. Now the Tigers trying to get a run back, and they're highlighted by Brandon McCrane hitting middle of this order. His .448 average leads the SEC, Greg Olson.
Yeah, both of the McCranes, Brandon and Mason, have found their way into the lineup every day, but Brandon just getting it done. RBIs, leading the SEC with a .448 average. Pretty amazing.
For Georgia Tech on the bump, they're going to Dimitri Angelakos, a freshman coming in, has pitched stellar from Woodstock, Georgia. A 1.38 ERA, 5 appearances, 2 starts.
He gets the midweek start again. That started the last 4. Fastball's going to be in the low 90s. He's going to throw a slider, changeup, and a cutter. Redshirt freshman, probably biggest start of his career.
Had some decent starts for Georgia Tech as he only allowed 2 hits, 5 strikeouts against Georgia State. Against West Georgia went 3 1/3, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. Here he'll face Chris Rembert from the Tigers. First pitch swinging. Nothing going for Chris Rembert. Rembert, one of those sophomores that's leading the way for Auburn, came onto the scene big time last year, Greg, as a freshman.
Team USA guy, flat plane swing, really solidified the middle infield when he got to the Plains.
A freshman All-American. Going to the plate this year for Auburn, leading off with a .319 average. That's 4 doubles, 12 runs batted in. Watches a 2-1 for a strike. Angelakos heaves the count 2-2.
See that short, tight little cutter from Angelakos.
Inside 3-2. So both starting pitchers face a 3-ball count to the leadoff hitter here in the first. Off is spoiled by Rembert.
Just an absolute catalyst when he gets on base. Has been injured with an ankle, so we have not seen the stolen bases that we've seen in the past.
3-2, caught looking, high and inside. Angelakos with a full count. Able to finish the job.
This was completely set up on the pitch prior to that. So first 3-2 pitch is a cut fastball down in the way. Rembert fouls it off barely. And so Rembert's going, all right, he's going to throw me another cutter. That last one was really good. Angelakos comes with a 4-seam fastball, inner part of the plate, and locks Rembert up.
Leaves the bases empty for Tiger catcher Chase Freilich. On the first pitch, high in the left field. Hernandez drifting back. It'll go off the wall. Extra bases. Chase Freilich cruising in the second. And tough to field there for Hernandez. Tigers get the tying run aboard.
Freilich jumps on the first pitch that he sees. Fastball middle of the plate, down, stays inside of it like he does so well. You can see the pop. Another Team USA guy from last summer. Welcome to left field, Alex Alex Hernandez. You got a little bit of sun, you got a little bit of wind, and you got a lot of cold.
Tech, they had a late scratch to the lineup. Drew Rogers behind the plate. Hernandez originally penciled in right field. A late scratch, he gets moved to left. That'll bring up Tiger left fielder Bub Terrell. Well, and also, too, going back to that play, when it deflects high off the War Eagle wall in left, got to be careful how you play that, especially as a visiting outfielder. Terrell coming off a big weekend for the Tigers at Missouri. Angelacco's able to even the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Terrell had the big go-ahead home run on Friday night in Game 1 that led Auburn to an eventual sweep of Missouri in the opening weekend of SEC play. Taking in the dirt, Rogers walking it up behind the plate.
Georgia Tech going with the book, and nice block behind the plate. Drew Rogers gets the late start. The Caleb Daniels scratch moves Von Lackey into the DH spot, and my partner already talked about the outfield moving around.
Two-one up and outside. What's Bub Terrell looking for here? Because runner at second, 1 out. Situational hitting going to be big for both of these teams today.
Well, you're looking at Bub Terrell, then you got Ethan Bingaman behind him. I'm not going to give in to Bub Terrell. Take my chances on the righty-righty matchup, but they're showing the book.
Hit well left center field. Burris on the run. It's out of reach. Lands in the canyon. Fralick rounds third to score. Bub Terrell's bat stays hot. A game-tying RBI double. We're tied at 1 in the first.
Well, I was about to say that I would not pitch to Bub Terrell, and this is why. You throw him a 3-1 fastball, predictable pitch, predictable count, predictable location, and Terrell drives it to almost the deepest part of the ballpark. Stays hot, and he has been so good about using all fields with his power.
Terrell represents the go-ahead run with first baseman Ethan Bingaman. The freshman jumps on the first pitch, hits right to Hernandez in left with a second out. And a good out for Angelacos on the bump.
I really like Angelacos' cutter, and that was one of them right there. Really short, tight, great location on it. And Bingaman gets out there and hooks it. Hits it hard. I'm going to write that one down as an L7, but hit that ball hard on a first pitch cutter that was well located. Color me thoroughly impressed.
105 off the bat.
That ball stung.
First pitch strike in to Mason McCrane. So already kind of a pivotal moment both for the offense and the defense for Georgia Tech here. Offense for Auburn. Go ahead run on second. Georgia Tech a chance though to get out of the first, only allowing 1. Wondered how long on a chilly day, Greg, it might take these offenses to get going, both coming out aggressive. Taking what the pitchers give them early.
Well, everybody's got to play in the cold. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to feel for you. And it's just one of those days where if you want to get to the next level, Detroit's an outdoor stadium. Minnesota's an outdoor stadium. Seattle can get pretty cold in April, September, and October. So it's part of life as you move on. But how about the fans that have shown up? Now, I understand that there's something else going on campus after the game.
There's a big game tonight, 1-2 pitch outside. You got the NIT, but also a couple big promotions today at the ballpark. You have half-price diamond deal days for half-price hot dogs, and of course, helps to have domestic brews have the price knocked down a bit as well, right? Especially on a cold.
You think that's why everybody's here?
On a cold day at the ballpark, top 5 matchup.
All right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm showing up a little late to the party, so I missed all the giveaways and everything else.
Well, And yeah, have a dog on a chilly day at the top of the Warrigal Wall. Wonder how the wind feels up there. And cold drinks to go with it. 2-2 pitch. McCrane staying alive. And I think the first 200 fans today, first 200 students, I should say, got a free Chick-fil-A sandwich. So,
wow.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
you got number 3 Georgia Tech. You really didn't have to use all your giveaways on one day, did you?
Well, here's the thing. Why not? Packed house. St. Patty's Day, 2-2 pitch. Angelakos misses outside. It's a 3-2 count on the freshman right fielder, Mason McCrane.
You got to get that dog a hot dog, don't you?
Payoff scorched. Just a tick early.
Yeah, mental note, I'm not running a cut fastball in on the hands unless I need a strike. And Mason McCrane just gets the hands, drops the head of the bat, hooks that one foul. Angelakos showing almost everything this at bat as well. Georgia Tech in a modified shift.
Lost him inside with a 2-out walk.
Great at bat by Mason McCrane. Spoiled some good pitches, inner part of the plate. And when you go 3-2 and you're seeing a guy that has the spray chart of Mason McCrane, which is most of his damage has come to left center, left field to center field, and most of his hits have gone that way. So you're pounding him in with cutters and fastballs. That's a small window to locate a 3-2 pitch.
Redshirt freshman Brandon McCrane coming to the plate, but first a check on Bob Terrell at second. McCrane playing a very good shortstop this year for Auburn. Has to jump on the first pitch. Takes it up and outside. Brandon McCrane, along with his brother Mason, Greg, having a great year.
Yes, they are. Both very similar hitters. I mean, one right-handed, one left-handed. Both of them use the opposite field real well for their base hits and their doubles. Don't try to do too much and pull the ball, which then allows them to stay back on the off speed. Brandon McCrane's really done a nice job of solidifying shortstop position for the Auburn Tigers.
Pitch outside. He's hitting .381 with 2 outs, hitting .389 with runners in scoring position. Auburn seeking their first lead. Tech and Angelakos trying to keep it tied. Working inside, another full count. And
Angelakos just really struggling with that changeup. That was a pitch right there, leaving it just a little bit elevated, a little bit arm side, which is showing me he's just coming out just a little bit early. Needs to stay with it and drive the ball to the outside part of the plate, only on the changeup.
McCrane stays alive on the 29th pitch on the 6th batter of the lineup for Auburn. Angelakos has now faced a 3-ball count 4 times. This is his 3rd full count here in the first inning.
Angelakos over the year so far has done a nice job of mixing up his 3-2 pitches.
In the air right field. Baker shades over, glove side, and the threat is in it for the Tigers, but Auburn gets one back. This time off the bat of Bob Terrell, tied at 1-1 at Plainsman Park. Auburn and Georgia Tech. Both teams get a run across in the first for Andreas Alvarez and the Tigers. Just the third time this year in allowing a run in the first inning. First time since February 21st. Greg, pitching obviously has been the strength this year for Coach Butch Thompson's squad. Alvarez been a big part of that. Adjustments he's looking to make here this inning.
Oh man, the starters have been so good for Auburn over the year so far. 16 of 19 games, they've gone 5 innings or more. They're 11-1 with a 1.81. 141 strikeouts, 104 innings. Alvarez just needs to settle in and find that fastball, start showing that just a little bit more, because the curveball's been really good and well located.
Well, Baker, the right fielder, comes to bat as sophomore. And a lot of good playing time last year as a freshman, made 27 starts, above 260. This week against Clemson was solid, mainly got reps at DH, went 5 for 11, 4 runs batted in. And Alvarez sits him down on a hook, down and in for Alvarez, his 4th strikeout.
Just a great hammer, 12-6, down, they call that a back foot breaking ball. It's where you got to go. It starts going through the hitters, the left-handed hitter's happy zone. He's seeing it coming through that happy zone, getting ready to drop head, and then all of a sudden it's just gone, just disappears.
Body on for catcher Drew Rogers. Alvarez back stronger with a first pitch strike. The shift played perfect. Chris Rembert doesn't move a step to take the blooper away from Rogers. Is 2 down.
You show first pitch breaking ball, and then you run a changeup accidentally up and in. Ties Rogers up. Easy second out. Nice adjustment so far by Alvarez.
And with that, 2 outs for Carson Curse, the junior from Marietta, Georgia. Had a breakout year last year. 313 on the year, 40 runs batted in. Big weekend at Clemson. Bounces one to McCrane. Steps and throws in a 1-2-3 inning for Andreas Alvarez. Much more efficient here in the top of the second. Midway through the second, tied at 1 here on the Plains. 1-1, bottom of the second, led by first-year head coach James Ramsey. And heck of a resume Coach Ramsey has, of course, taking over for Danny Hall, who retired, Greg, after 38 seasons. ACC Player of the Year back in 2012, longtime Tech assistant and Florida State outfielder. And truly, I mean, he has Georgia Tech rolling right now early here in 2026.
Yeah, and I mean, the players got to love him because he's done it. He's gotten drafted by the Cardinals in the first round, Player of the Year in the ACC. Yeah. And so the players can look at a guy that's relatively young, that's taken over the spot, going, man, this guy's done it. He's been where we want to go.
And I loved his answer. The 0-1 pitch up and inside on Gregorio of Auburn. And I asked him, I said, hey, what's allowed the high success rate this year for the offense? And has it been just one thing? Has it been a trend? What is it? Since the 1-1 comes in, it's down and in. And he said, truly, it's playing the guys in this lineup. They stayed to develop, and they got so many reps young. And obviously, coaches are nervous to do that at times. But if you look at both of these rosters, Greg, has paid dividends. This one roped down the right field line for Gregorio. It's got enough, and it sneaks out of the yard. A solo shot to lead off the second. A go-ahead home run for Gregorio, and the Tigers take a 2-1 lead.
Gregorio has been limited playing time, drove in 3 runs in the series against Nebraska. Got a pinch hit at bat versus Missouri. And with a couple guys dinged up, he gets the go, gets a cut fastball in on the hands. just drops the head and smashes it.
A guy that hit 18 home runs at Northern Illinois before coming to Auburn. Here's Ty Clay, the third baseman.
Well, there's a couple guys in this lineup that they've been trying to get more at bats, and Todd Clay is one of them, Gregorio is one of them, and Ballou is one of them.
Sun ball for Hernandez in left, no problem.
This is a cut fastball. It's nice, but it's got a little too much depth and not enough drive inside on the hands. And so does not quite get into the hands. It gets just a little bit underneath. Gregorio drops the head of the bat. I mean, he's gotten it done at a high level. It was just a matter of getting some opportunities here on the Plains.
He's a kid that adds a ton of depth for Butch Thompson. I mean, you look where Auburn's at right now with Carter and Guevara on the bench today in a top 5 matchup. Both those guys banged up trying to get healthy, and got to feel good if you're Gabe Gross as a DH. You have power like that. Big dribbler up the middle. Sneaks through for Cade Ballou. Wide turn. He pumps the brakes, rounding first, and Ballou off to a slower start, gets a 1-out single here in the second inning.
Well, most of his outs have come on the right side of the infield, and when he gets his base hits, his singles, they're in the air into left center. And so Georgia Tech shifts, trying to take advantage of him pounding a ground ball with probably a cut fastball in on the hands, and he stays inside of it and just shoots a seeing eye ground ball right where shortstop would have been.
Goes back to the top of the lineup for Auburn and Rember, Georgia Tech. They want to spend time to talk about it.
I've had the opportunity to do a couple of these Georgia Tech Auburn games here on the Plains. And Georgia Tech usually comes down in the midweeks down here, and it's Johnny Holstaff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're expecting out of Angelakos, but his last couple outings, 3-10 against West Georgia, 3 innings, 5 innings a week before that, 1 inning against Stony Brook on the 20th of February. So not a whole lot of depth, and you can see the pitch count creeping up.
Well, now he's got to handle this Auburn lineup the second time around. 1 out, runner at first. He'll at least see Rembert and possibly Freilich and Terrell this inning. Rembert, first pitch, fly ball, left field. It is over the wall. Rembert with a big fly, second of the inning for Auburn. Rembert tacks on 2 more, and Auburn takes a 4-1 lead here in the second.
Chris Rembert's first home run of the year. He goes up there hunting something off speed. Remember, his first at bat got locked up on a fastball in. He's looking inner part of the plate, gets a changeup left elevated. Absolutely smashes it. And just like that. Might be the worst mound visit post-result that I've ever seen. Usually you get strike 1. Worst case, you get ball 1. I don't think I've ever seen a mound visit next pitch home run.
For that young man, again, only a freshman, had a 1.38 ERA coming in, and it's one of those, again, a top 5 matchup, Greg, on the road. It's one I know he'll, in the coaching staff, chalk it up as a learning moment, but for Auburn, credit to the Tigers. They put an exclamation with it on the screen with Chris Rembert.
Rembert, first pitch swing and gets a changeup inside part of the plate, hammers it Auburn up 4-1.
Dimitri Angelakos, the starter for Georgia Tech, went an inning and a third, 5 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and a strikeout, Greg. A tough atmosphere, top 5 matchup on the road here for a freshman.
Yeah, first inning he found his way, then quick home run on a good pitch, and then after that it just fell apart. Base hit and a 2-run home run.
Jake Lanky making his 6th appearance. Been solid through 7 in the third, allowed 8 hits, 10 strikeouts, only 1 walk. Had just 8 appearances last year and 10 in the third innings pitched. He's on his way to surpassing that early. Right now has to find a way to keep these Auburn bats quiet as the Tigers play 4, still here in the 2nd inning.
Lanky's going to feature a sinker at about 89 to 93, slider, curveball, and a changeup. 4-pitch mix.
Chase Freilich sees the first pitch strike. He's 1 for 1 with a double, and he was the tying run in the first. Freilich, he was another freshman All-American for Auburn last year, all SEC freshman team selection, where he hit .335. He's at .368 this year.
Highly rated tennis player. Both of his parents played tennis, and you're going to see that nice flat plane swing. Looks a little bit like a tennis backhand, and he is on time, and he is a spray chart, meaning he uses the whole field. He hits the ball hard to all fields. We saw that last inning on the double off the wall.
Have you heard of that tennis player turned baseball player ever?
No, I have not.
Makes it 2-2 low. Two, back up the middle, right center field. Chase Freilich heads for 2. Baker with a throw is late, and Chase Freilich with his 2nd extra base hit of the afternoon.
That's that flat plane swing I talked about. Georgia Tech was in a shift, had the second baseman out in shallow right field, and Freilich just hits it through the shift. Ball is blistered, and a little bit of hesitation out in right field by Baker. Came up, and I don't know if he didn't pick up the cutoff man, didn't think Freilich was going to go on him, but that little hesitation allowed Freilich those extra steps to get to second base.
111 off the bat for Chase Freilich. Sets up another RBI opportunity for Bump Terrell, and he's had a pretty good few days as of late. Terrell has, and he's trying to keep up that momentum. RBI doubled that tied the game back in the first.
Huge 2-run home run in Missouri to win game 1, 2-0. He has been prone to curveballs and changeups from the right-handed pitcher. And right now, Georgia Tech is pounding curveballs and changeups. But once he gets a fastball, watch out. Hit a double on a fastball last inning for an RBI double.
And truly, his freshman year, he really came in and took the Plains by storm. Late signee for the Tigers. Here he chased one in the dirt. Rogers takes it to first, and a much-needed out for Jake Lanky.
Something he's gotten. I mean, Bub Terrell's gotten a lot better at handling that breaking ball. If you don't throw a perfect one, he hammers it. But Lanky goes with the curveball in the dirt. Really nice pitch. That was actually my out pitch as well. And gets Terrell to expand the zone. Big second out.
Brings up Ethan Bingaman. Bumpers at the 0-1. Another youngster in this lineup for Auburn. Hitting .314, already gone deep 3 times this year. Big ass freshman hitting cleanup, playing first base today for Butch Thompson. Out, no, not a foul tip, swing and a miss in the dirt, and back-to-back strikeouts in the dirt for Jake Lanke to stop the bleeding for Georgia Tech here in the bottom of the second. Gregorio leads off the inning. Chris Rimbert adds to it, but time call with Butch Thompson.
I don't know what there is to challenge. I mean, you're allowed to use the green bag. So I'm not sure what Butch was asking. Freilich stayed at third. Auburn expands the lead with a 3 spot in the bottom of the second, 4-1 Auburn.
Auburn in Georgia Tech in midweek action. Drew Burris, leadoff hitter, back at the plate for the second time today, and started the day with a walk, and he was driven in a couple batters later by his second baseman, Avankula. Tough play in center field. Kay Ballou calls off Brandon McCray. Good communication. Tigers get the out.
Great communication.
Well, and for the break, Bingaman at the plate for the Tigers. He was swinging off the glove of the Georgia Tech catcher, Drew Rogers. And Greg, initially I thought it could have been a foul tip. It was close.
It was close. You know what? I think we're seeing a lot more of catchers so worried about framing up the outside corner that they don't secure the catch. And it didn't look like a foul tip, didn't look like the ball changed any direction. And for Bingaman just to take off running, the one guy that would know that he got a piece of the ball is, you know, my reaction. I usually watch the reaction of the players. And if he would have paused, you know, looked at the umpire, hey, I foul tipped that, something. He gave nothing other than taking off to first base.
On the flip side, Andreas Alvarez facing Alex Hernandez. Hernandez down on strikes his first appearance, but sophomore still hitting a blistering .443. Alvarez got stronger, Greg, in the second inning. Retired the bottom half of the order, 1-2-3. Gets the first out here in the third.
Yeah, he's actually settled in. Struggled a little bit, a couple of walks, which he hasn't done all season. One came around to score. And that's more like the Alvarez that we have seen so far this season. 94, 95, good location on the fastball, and then pitches off of that with the slider, curveball, changeup.
Payoff pitch, back up the middle into center. Alex Hernandez back on base where he has been all season long. 1 out single, just the second hit of the day for Georgia Tech.
Hernandez is one of those reverse splits guys. Hits right-handed pitching a lot better, almost 100 points better than he does left-handed pitching. It's at a .472 clip.
Avankula back at the plate, had a great first AB. Second pitch of the at-bat, got a bouncer back up the middle with an RBI single. His 25th run batted in of the year. Cal transfer, he was second team All-ACC a season ago. Goes opposite field. Long run for Terrell. He has the range, and it's 2 down in the inning.
That's the experience of Bub Terrell out in left field for a second straight year. Played mostly right field last year, but has gotten a lot of time out in left this year. At the end of last year, the sun is a factor right about now. He's able to navigate that and make the running catch of a well-hit line drive.
Yeah, it's beaming down hard over Donahue drive outside the stadium. First pitch to Lackey offered and missed. Lackey, top hitter in this lineup. That says something. Georgia Tech leading the nation in offense, hitting .472. And of course, Lackey on the preseason Golden Spikes watch list. Tech has 3 Yellow Jackets on that list: Burris and Lackey and Advincula.
Can I add Hernandez on there as well?
You can
Do I
indeed.
get a vote?
And Lackey caught looking, called strike 3 from Andreas Alvarez.
Alvarez with 3 straight hooks. This one right down Broadway, 0-2. Hello, good morning, good night.
Chilly day on the Plains. Chase Fralick doubles off the wall in left. Bump Terrell follows it up with an RBI double in the first. Now in the second, tied at 1. How about a leadoff shot and a go-ahead home run for Logan Gregorio? Chris Rimber joins the party. He takes one to left. A 2-run home run. And for the Tigers, they tack on 3 that inning. And Auburn takes a 4-1 lead, headed to the home half of the third. Auburn's second inning, third time with a multi-home run inning this season. And Greg, you look 1 through 9 in this lineup, much like Georgia Tech. There's power up and down as Mace McCrane fouls off the first pitch to get us going.
Now, they don't have quite the gaudy numbers of Georgia Tech with the runs scored, the doubles, everything else that Georgia Tech is doing. But 1 through 9, Auburn is putting together a very solid lineup, and they have a couple of other pieces that can fit in.
This one hangs in the infield. First and second baseman Schmidt and Advincula shift out of the way, and that's the shortstop, Carson Kearse.
I think it was.
Who comes over to make that play.
Called off Kent Schmidt. Why don't they let the first baseman and pitchers catch the pop-ups? I mean, come on.
Out of all the games you and I have done together, I think that's the first time I've seen a shortstop come over nearly towards first base to make a catch, but the wind is that much of a factor today.
It is that much of a factor, and Kearse was in a little bit better position to see that one coming in.
Well, and in the end, it's about communication. Doesn't matter who makes the catch. It's about communication and who has the best read.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Not that I'm telling a former AL Rookie of the Year anything he doesn't already know.
No, but shortstop, you know, in that spot, he was shaded on the other side of second base. Had a good look at it. Wind blowing a little bit. Just took the lead. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to lead the infield. The only person that he answers to is the center fielder.
Lanky 0-2 on McCrane. Coming inside. Now, Lanky, his one goal this inning is to put up a 0. Auburn scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second. Georgia Tech trying to quiet these Auburn bats, trailing Auburn 4-1. Line drive left field to Hernandez, routine for the Yellow Jackets left fielder. And Butch Thompson in his 11th season on the Plains. 341 wins, third most in program history, and what he's done with this program, absolutely impressive. Hosted the Super Regional last year, lost to Coastal Carolina, but went to the World Series in 19 and 22. People think the Tigers have the talent to get back there this year.
Yeah, I think both of these teams have high aspirations of getting to Omaha and their season finishing there one way or another. But Auburn definitely has the pieces, the starting pitching. Talked about the length and the depth of the lineup. Defense has been solid.
Talking about depth, how about Logan Gregorio? As he bounces one into the Georgia Tech dugout. And transfers in, makes his 6th start today in a top 5 matchup, and hits a go-ahead home run to lead off the second.
I've just struggled to find him at bats. So many moving parts at third base, shortstop early on, right field. McCrane brothers settle things in, and Gregorio, catcher by trade. And that's going to be a tough spot to break into with Freilich.
That home run is first of his Auburn career. To the left side, scooped by the third baseman Zuckerman, and the Tigers are retired. 1-2-3. Good inning for Jake Lanky. Tigers kept off the board. Auburn leads it by 3. History on the baseball diamond. Of course, most know the Rec Tech parade that happened with football in 1896. These two teams, Greg, met on the diamond for the first time 1 year later in 1897. Today's meeting, the 249th meeting, marking the first ever top 5 matchup. And I think about all the great games just in the last decade between these two teams. And of course, I think one of the most notable matchups was in the NCAA regionals back in 2019. As the 1-0 comes into Schmidt for strike 1.
What happened in 2019?
Auburn, which was right after, as the 1-1 offered and misses, unfortunately right after the tragic accident of Rod and Paula Bramlett. And
yeah,
it was an emotional time for Auburn. Tigers go on the road to a very tough Georgia Tech team, and Tigers come out of there with a regional championship, go on the road to Supers, and make it to the College World Series for the first time under Coach Butch Thompson.
Well, big 3-run home run by Stephen Williams in the bottom of the 9th. And it was so weird for Auburn to be batting in the home spot in the main game on Saturday. So both teams are 1-0. winner gets obviously a bye through the next game, and somebody's got to play 2 more games to get back. There's a walk by Alvarez.
Well, speaking.
Williams didn't know how to celebrate because he just goes, all right, I just put us ahead. And then as he came around, he realized that that was a game winner.
It was definitely unique seeing Auburn hit a walk-off on the road, again, at Georgia Tech. It's actually one of the rules I don't like as a baseball fan.
What's that?
I think if you're a home team in a regional, I think you should be the home team. You earn that right. That's just my opinion.
That.
Doesn't mean anything.
I respect that, and I would probably agree with that.
But you go back for Auburn and Georgia Tech both. When you're 100 miles apart, baseball programs of this caliber facing off of one another. And also, too, I think you have 2 of the best ballparks, by the way, in college baseball, the home of these 2 teams.
Yeah, no, I like Georgia Tech's. Auburn's very unique, based on a couple different ballparks, as I understood when they were building it back in 1997. You can see left field stealing a little bit of the green monster at Fenway. The home plate area and the brick wall area stolen a little bit from Wrigley Field. A couple of my all-time favorite ballparks that I've ever participated in a game in. And really that the left field canyon is unique to Plainsman Park, because I've never seen it at a big league field. I'd like it. I'd like a big left center.
You like number 31 out on the wall out there, right?
I do. I am surrounded by some great ball players. Bo Jackson, Frank Thomas, Tim Hudson.
Big strike 3 called on the inside corner. Zuckerman wanted ball 4. Instead, Alvarez gets another strikeout.
Fastball down. Zuckerman just takes it, thinking it's at the bottom of the zone, and it is at the bottom of the zone. That's right at your knees. And that would be one way. If you see so many breaking balls, so much off-speed stuff, and all of a sudden here comes 93 zinging at your knees, it's just hard to pull the trigger.
You said at the beginning of the broadcast about how important the fastball is for Alvarez to command. It was a curveball early, but fastball's getting sharper as this game has progressed.
Well, first time around the order, it was a lot of curveballs.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of curveballs, and more than I've seen him throw. And now all of a sudden it's like, all right, there's that great curveball, and I'd be throwing a lot of them as well. But now all of a sudden it's going, hey, you know what? I'm going to keep you honest here, and here's 93 to 95, 4-seam, well located.
With a lineup like Georgia Tech, as the 1-1 comes into Baker. Lead play to the terrace. Ball and 2 strikes. Sometimes as a pitcher and you're facing a lineup again this deep, number 1 lineup in the country statistically, is as a pitcher sometimes you try to come in and pitch backwards, if you will, early, just to create some off-balance approaches.
Well, what I think is you can't get caught up in the 1 through 9. You get caught up in number 1, and then the second hitter, and then the third hitter, and you focus on, all right, how do I get those guys out?
In the air left center for Terrell and Ballou, and Terrell comes over in front of the center fielder for the catch.
And the communication right there. I think Terrell was on it the whole time, and Ballou's going, man, that's a big dude. I don't want to run into him. But back to it, you don't look at the 1 through 9. You don't look at the length and the depth and everything else, and you just go, okay, here's how I want to get this guy out. Yeah. Here's how I want to face this guy. And if you get caught up in going, wow, this is a great lineup like the 95, 96 Yankees, then you're just doing yourself a disservice, because it's going to be a daunting task. But if I go, all right, you know what, there's Jeter, there's Bernie Williams, there's Gerald Williams, and you go, how do I get each one of those guys out, and you break them apart, then it becomes a little bit easier.
6 through 9, they have depth. 388 average combined, 18 bombs, nearly 100 runs batted in.
That's just ridiculous. It really is. Bottom of the lineup's featuring a guy hitting 424, guy hitting 388, a guy hitting 424. That's your 7, 8, 9 numbers. James Ramsey just trying to entice his hitter, Drew Rogers, see the ball up. Okay, he's got a good break-in ball, see it up. Now, if I'm Alvarez and I just saw you swinging a curveball in the dirt, well, here comes another one.
1-2 goes away. Well, I was going to ask you, but you answered my question before I could get it out. Is what lineup from your days in the big stands out the most? And I assumed it would be a Yankee lineup, you coming from the AL East.
Well, then you had, the Oakland teams of the early 90s, Guire, Canseco.
Alvarez called strike 3, a punch out to end the top of the 4th. 7th punch out of the day. He's dealing. 4-1 Tigers. He's an Auburn student. Top 5 matchup, and Mason Park has had some pretty high attendances over the last few seasons under head coach Butch Thompson. Tigers set the single season program record each season. And of course, Greg, with these renovations at Plainsman Park, you see why it's easy. You combine that with the product on the field that Auburn has. Auburn's become a home, and the SEC is one of the best atmospheres in the country.
It really has. They've done a great job. They've added the 984 club down the right field line. You got the student seating out in right center. You got the seating above the green monster. That all came in a couple years ago.
Hot shot right side, glove by Schmidt. Flashing the leather at first for the first out. Tires Todd Clay.
I like the thought. One guy on the right side. Todd Clay gets a fastball away, stays inside of it, and just hits it at the one guy on the right side of the infield.
Nobody aboard, 1 out. And for Tech, Jake Lanke back on the bump after coming in relief a couple innings ago. Had a 1-2-3 inning back in the 3rd. He's now retired 6 in a row. Tigers seeking their first hit against him. Kay Ballou in the bottom of the order, back at the plate after a single in the 2nd.
This Georgia Tech bullpen has had their innings spread around, so they really haven't been able to define a whole bunch of roles yet. Got a couple of solid guys at the back end. Right now, it's been a little bit of a jumble. The way Lanke's throwing right now, he might find himself moving up the ladder.
Ballou's had an interesting year for the Tigers. One of the vets on this lineup, or in this lineup rather, making his 11th start today, a junior. Slower start with the bat this year, but he's one I know Coach Thompson and even Coach Gabe Groves, they have a lot of trust in because he's done it at this level as a freshman and as a sophomore.
Started his freshman year, played at Auburn High School right down the street. And he is notorious for finding a way to get on base. 36 career hit by pitches. He has just struggled with some lower leg injuries over his 2 years. Just trying to stay healthy.
Last year, I think he had probably one of, if not the most memorable home runs in college baseball last year. As he lost his mom early in the season, and on that same day, plays in the game for Auburn and hits a home run for the Tigers.
Yeah, his mom passed away after a long illness, and I was down on the field for batting practice, and Cade went walking by me, and I was shocked that he was on the field, but they let him play. He went out there first at bat, home run to right center. And if there was a dry eye in the house, I didn't see it.
Cade back this year, talking of depth. Got some freshmen and some sophomores playing well, and right now got a lot of guys. Right now, for Butch Thompson, he's got a hard time picking, hey, who to put where. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but Cade Ballou certainly in that conversation.
Yeah, and Gregorio the same way, and Todd Clay. I talked about it. There's a lot of moving pieces that Gabe Gross and Butch Thompson have to find a way to get on the field, because they can add depth and add some solid bats in case injuries.
Lanky wins this battle. Strikes out Ballou for the second out of the inning.
Lanky going with a whole bunch of curveballs, and it seemed like Ballou was getting on time with it. But Lanky just went with one a little bit better, gets it inside under the hands. You can see Ballou knew it was coming. Just maybe felt like he tried to do a little too much with it.
Chris Rimbert hit his first homer of the year last AB, a 2-run shot. Auburn up 1 at the time, doubles the lead. Tigers now up 3.
It's got some very wide splits. Hits 625 when he's ahead in the count, 063 when he is behind.
Here he falls behind. Again, continue to be impressed with Jake Lanky, because Auburn comes out with a good start and aggressive approach. Score 4 off of 6 hits. But Lanky, he's quieted the Tigers down since the second.
Well, he's done a nice job of protecting the fastball. So he's pitching backwards. A lot of breaking balls early, fastballs late. 2 different breaking balls, a curveball, slider. And that's the pitching late right there. Fastball in on the hands, ties up Renberg.
Well, Schmidt able to team up with his pitcher Lanky. And a quick inning here in the 4th. Through 4. Tigers lead it by 3. Gives up a run early. Greg Olson, he's only gotten stronger as the games have gone on in the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. He's got 7 strikeouts.
He has absolutely gotten on fire after the first inning, scuffled through it, and then he found that good overhand curveball, and now he's starting to pitch a little bit backwards as well, where he's pitching curveballs early and that good 93 to 95 fastball late.
Here in the top half of the 5th, Alvarez will get 9, 1, and 2 of this Georgia Tech lineup. And again, long way to go, Greg. Still a lot of ABs for this Georgia Tech side. But Alvarez, his last 9 outings, I mean, he's pitched in some big spots for Auburn, and he's been spectacular through 39 2/3.
Yeah, I mean, he got a regional, got a super regional outing. You know, he's got some big innings last season towards the end, and then moved into it. Started on this midweek and has been absolutely dominant as a Tuesday starter.
But for Auburn, nice 1-1 breaking ball. 1-1 count. The starting pitching has really been the thing that set Auburn apart this year. I mean, 11-1, 1.89 ERA, and the strikeout to walk ratio insane. That one comes in, gets a piece on Carson Kurtz.
You can see how much faster he's working now on the mound, but you can see what the starting pitching has done. 11-1, 1.81. Look at the strikeout to walk ratio, absolutely ridiculous. Just got a little frisky with that fastball. Showed a good breaking ball to get to 1-2, and then you're going, I got you dead to rights with the fastball in on the hands, and just a little too far inside.
Top of the order, leadoff hitter Drew Burris back at the plate. And I think about the starting pitching numbers for Auburn, and I think back to who the head coach is and Butch Thompson. I mean, longtime pitching coach in the SEC and one of the best to do it in the country of Mississippi State.
Yeah, and then at Georgia. But yeah, he's been very good as a pitching coach, and then came down the Plains as the head coach. Gave up a couple years ago. I mean, he's had some great pitching coaches, Steve Smith, Tim Hudson. And for the past couple years, it's been to the man to his right, as we were looking at, or his left, excuse me, Everett Tiefert. Nice block by Fraley, keep that in front. Tiefert has evolved, done a nice job with the sequencing and the pitching lab that they got out in left field, or wherever they've moved it to now. It's too cold to have a pitching lab in left field.
Whereas ahead 1-2, Burris continues to stay alive with a good eye with the ball in the dirt. This is very, very good hitter at the plate for Georgia Tech. Again, first team All-American and All-Conference last year. Only player from a Power 4 conference with 62 runs batted in, 20-plus doubles, 50-plus walks, and over 15 home runs and 70 runs scored last year.
His next home run will be his 50th. His 5th all-time on the Georgia Tech ranks of home runs.
Burris with 5 this year.
He's able to lay off a couple of the pitches that have been the book on him. He will chase curveballs out of the zone. He laid off one before that. He'll chase fastballs up out of the zone. He laid off of that. Now he's made Alvarez have to come in the zone with something. Trepidation for me as a former pitcher is I'm going, all right, if I throw a 3-2 breaking ball right here, and it's, you know, 50-50, 55, 45 strike to walk, strike to ball ratio.
And Alvarez wins the battle.
He gets him outside the zone. Like I said, Burris has had a hard time laying off of that curveball, but to throw it 3-2, if he is able to lay off, you got runners on first and second, nobody out. And Burris is unable to lay off of it. Great pitch by Alvarez.
One down, runner at first for Alex Hernandez. That's the first pitch strike, and that's the big thing about Alvarez is had the leadoff walk early, but he's settled in with his stuff and done a pretty good job for the most part of staying ahead today.
Yeah, that first inning was a little bit of another great block by Fralick. That first inning was just a little bit out of the norm. I talked about how low his walks were on the season, and he had 2 of them in the first inning. Leadoff one ended up coming around to score. But since then has really settled in. 3 hitters in the second, 4 hitters in the third, 4 hitters in the fourth.
Missing inside makes it 2 balls and a strike. And I'm curious, Alvarez has struck out 8 today. On the 19th of February, he struck out 9 against North Alabama. So he's 1 shy of a career high. Good eye by Hernandez. Hitters count now, 3 balls and a strike. Hernandez, one of just 2 hits today for Georgia Tech. Single last appearance after a strikeout in the first.
Pitches that are really close to the top of the zone. Hernandez hitting 467 when he is ahead in the count.
Now with that single to the 23-game on-base streak. Not bad as well for Hernandez as he leads the team, 29 runs scored, and that second highest on-base percentage at .558. Alvarez coming back, finding a strike on the outside corner.
That is the key to life. You want to continue on as a pitcher, you're going to have to be able to locate fastballs behind in the count to get yourself back in. You cannot constantly go with off-speed cutters, sliders, breaking balls. You have to land fastballs for strikes.
Getting it off makes it 3-2.
All right, he was late on that fastball. Shows me he's in between what's coming. He has seen enough fastballs to be on time for it. So move that fastball into the inside part of the plate, in on the hands. See what that does. So Curse was off and running. He's got 1 stolen base on the year.
Quick pick. Oh, and I think back to the first inning, Alvarez made the move against Burris. Threw one away, gave the extra base, and a couple batters later, RBI single to put Tech on the board. 3-2, caught him with the hook. Ties the career high, 9 strikeouts for Andreas Alvarez.
Hernandez thought it was ball 4, gave up on it. Breaking ball, top of the zone. Top of the zone has not been getting called very much today. He thinks it's ball 4. Danny Crick's home plate umpire says it's strike 3.
And another first pitch strike. This one into Advincula, who had the RBI single back in the first.
He's done a nice job of hitting the ball opposite field. See if you can move something in under the hands.
Alvarez this inning hit Curse, struck out the next 2. He's a strike away. In the top of the 5th. Just south of 100 pitches. Fly ball left field that sails out. Day that just started, Greg, that thought this Georgia Tech offense was going to put up some big numbers with the way they started in the first and took advantage of a free base here and there. Alvarez settled in and closes the door in the 5th. He's fired up, career high 10th strikeout for Andreas Alvarez. Tech doesn't strike out often, Greg Olson, by the hands of Alvarez today. 10 against the Yellow Jackets. College World Series in 2019, it was the Vanderbilt Commodores, the Mississippi State in 21. Well, Ole Miss had to join the party in 22. And then how about LSU in 23? Vols get their first in 24. And it's the Fighting Tigers of LSU again in 2025. SEC continues to dominate in the Men's College World Series. 13 finals appearances, 7 titles. The rest of Division I baseball, just 7 appearances and 3 titles. Auburn, of course, has made it there twice under head coach Butch Thompson. certainly have their eye on joining that category of making it to the national title series. And this squad ranked in the top 5 here in the middle of March, facing another top 5 team in an incredible program from the ACC, and number 3 Georgia Tech. Right now it's 4-1 Tigers in the home half of the 5th inning. 2-3-4 due up for Auburn with Freilich, Terrell, and Bingaman. Lanky back out to work for Georgia Tech in relief, and he's been the one bright spot today for the Yellow Jackets. But Chase Freilich red hot, 2 for 2, 2 doubles on the afternoon.
Lanky came in the second inning, gave up a double quickly to Freilich, but after that settled in. A couple of strikeouts, 1-2-3 inning in the third, 1-2-3 inning in the fourth.
Retired 8 in a row. Swing makes it 2 balls, 2 strikes, and for Freilich, he hits his 5th and 6th doubles of the year, back in the first and second inning. It was Auburn's last hit back in the second. Lanky to Freilich on the 3-2. Missed him inside for a leadoff walk. And Freilich is Auburn's first base runner. It sits his double in the second inning.
Yeah, Lanky had done a really nice job of pounding the zone, multiple breaking balls, short, tight little cut slider, curveball. Just lost Freilich on that 3-2 fastball.
Brings up the Tiger left fielder Bump Terrell. 1 for 2 with an RBI double to tie it back in the first. Bottom of the 5th, Tigers lead by 3. I don't know about you, but 3 runs just doesn't seem like a lot with what Georgia Tech is capable of. Sure, everyone in that Auburn dugout would probably agree.
Now we're halfway over, plenty of at-bats left. Too soon to be counting outs. The strength and depth of the offense of Georgia Tech.
Well, you know, we talked to Coach Casey Dunn from UAB last week as UAB came to town for a midweek, and he was talking about the no let-up in midweek games in the state of Alabama, but also, too, you go out of state, you get a top 5 matchup if you're Auburn and Georgia Tech. I mean, aside from rankings and all that, though, explain the value of these games in midweek against non-conference power folks.
Quality opponents, that's what it is. I mean, you're never getting a let-up, you're never getting a break. You're getting good quality opponents, and you look at Georgia Southern. It's been a great program for a long time. West Georgia gave Auburn fits a couple weeks ago.
Ground ball through into right field for Bub Terrell. Multi-hit day for the sophomore. Puts runners at first and second. Nobody out for Auburn here in the 5th.
Saw the double to left center from Terrell. This one to cut fastball running in on the hands. He's able to spin it through the 43 hole. You feel like with Freilich on first base, Georgia Tech really couldn't get into a shift where they could move their second baseman out there. Just trying to keep things a little bit more standard. Bub Terrell takes advantage.
Freshman Ethan Bingaman at the plate. been 0 for with a line out and a strikeout this afternoon. Like he got him to end the second. Another ball through that 43 hole right side. Tigers walk, single, bases loaded with Bingaman's base knock here in the 5th. Brett Barfield, the lefty, getting warm for Georgia Tech. Bases loaded, nobody out. Greg, I was going to ask you, is this the time for a mound visit? And indeed it is.
You got a lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty coming up. Barfield, excuse me, has been one of their left-handed specialists. But just, honestly, Bingaman was just a great piece of hitting. Terrell was just a great piece of hitting. The leadoff walk obviously is going to come back to hurt. But sometimes you just kind of look around, you're going, man, what do I do? Those balls are just seeing eye ground balls that found a hole between first and second.
Lanky was nearly perfect through 2 2/3. Tigers having him some trouble here in the 5th. Tigers had the bases loaded. I mean, really did a great job of keeping Georgia Tech in, and it was a leadoff walk here in the 5th inning. And good piece of hitting, too, by Bob Terrell and Ethan Bingaman. Now bases loaded, nobody out for the new pitcher and Brett Barfield. Tough spot to come in on.
Yeah, he's been one of their left-handed specialists. Bases loaded. He's got lefty, righty, lefty coming up now. Fastball is going to be 89 to 92. Slider, curveball, and a changeup. Good numbers. And as I talked about, really, Georgia Tech is still early in the season trying to define their roles out of the bullpen.
Barfield has a step off. He's working with a second base umpire, Morris Hodges, I think, for a pitch calm.
He's not getting the signs in. You can see him looking over to the dugout. Yeah. The dugout's looking back going.
As you say, it's great when it works. It's speedy, but it also, too, when you rely on it, certainly can be frustrating as Coach James Ramsey.
James Ramsey's making sure that they did not give him a ball or one of his step-offs. He is being clear with Barfield, going, look, if this thing ain't working, you need to step off and be really clear about what's going on. Because we cannot afford to lose one of your step-offs. We cannot get ball one right here with bases loaded, nobody out.
Barfield is a senior, experienced guy. I mean, 20 appearances last year, second most on the team. In a tough spot here on the road at Auburn with the bases loaded. Nobody out here in the 5th. For comm issues, he's in to face Mason McCrane. Lefty on lefty matchup here. What's McCrane looking for here, Greg?
He's looking for a fastball in this situation right here. He just got a good take. Doing his best to do something with this ball into the outfield grass, which is the master of the obvious statement. But talking about Mason now, has done a nice job versus lefties, hitting .333 on the year. Oh, excuse me.
Gets the strike low on the outside corner. Ahead now, ball and 2 strikes.
Let's see how the freshman reacts to that. Ball way off the bottom of the zone.
McCrane chases, gets a foul tip to the mid, and a big strikeout for Georgia Tech and Brett Barfield.
Once you get into the 0-2-1-2 hole, you're waiting for a breaking ball. You're going, there's got to be a breaking ball coming. You're trying to defend the fastball and just foul it off, stay alive. Barfield, just a better fastball, bottom of the zone, beats McCrane's bat.
For Barfield now, he's a ground ball away from pitching out of a tough jam. He went through Mason McCrane. Now he's got to go through his brother, Brandon McCrane. Brandon's 0 for 2 today. A fly out to right and a line out to left. It's a strike. It's located outside corner.
All right, so here's what we got. We have nothing at the belt or shade below. That's the strike zone from Danny Criggs. We have bottom of the zone, below the knees by an inch, 2 inches. That is his strike zone for the day. Now you walk up there as a hitter and you start going, all right, that's a strike. The fans don't like it. Hitters don't like it. Gabe Gross does not like it over on the bench, but been very consistent. That's all I care about.
Barfield with a 1-2. Goes with the out pitch. McCrane does not chase. Well, in knowing that, all right, as a pitcher, you love it. You got to continue to attack, but as a hitter, it's easy to say to adjust, but the question is, how do you adjust?
Well, you're just very aware that the bottom of the zone's a little bit lower than where you're at.
A flinch, appeal to first, and Jeremy Dupree says no.
And that's it. You just got to be aware that the bottom of the zone is not what you're normally used to seeing.
Payoff. Below the knees, ball 4. Barfield walks in a run. McCrane gets the RBI as Fraley comes home.
That was close. I mean, normally I would say this isn't close, and after the USA game a couple nights ago, everybody's complaining about bottom of the zones, but that one's pretty close.
It's funny, I almost texted you after that pitch the other night, but I was like, Greg's a pitcher. Of course it's a strike, right?
Well, you know what's funny? It came in right below the knee. And it's 102, and it's a sinker that's just the nastiest thing on the face of the earth, talking about Mason Miller. Swing the bat.
Caden Combs, pinch hitter. In for the Tigers, a freshman from Mount Olive, Alabama. 6'4", 260 coming to the plate for Auburn with the bases loaded. Tigers lead 5-1, but first a mound visit from Georgia Tech.
Just 8 at-bats on the year, 1 for 8. A couple of RBIs on that hit.
And now for Georgia Tech, 1 out. What's the message here, Greg?
The message here is, hey, let's stay in it, stay in the fight. We're right there. We know we're going to score some runs.
And a new pitcher on for Georgia Tech. We'll step aside. We'll reset when we come back. Tigers lead 5-1, bases loaded. New pitcher for the Yellow Jackets here at Plainsman Park. 3-game series Friday night at Duty Noble Field in Starkville. We'll have coverage for you starting at 8 Eastern, 7 Central over on the SEC Network and ESPN app. New pitcher in for Georgia Tech. It'll be Caden Gaudette in the pitch, and had high strikeout numbers last year, 20 strikeouts in just 13 innings of work. This year, Greg 1-0 with a 4.32 ERA. This is his 9th appearance.
Yeah, he has been one of their high leverage relievers, used in short bursts, short spots. 1-0, 4-3-2. It's going to feature a fastball, 89 to 92, cutter, slider, and a curveball. Auburn is going to counter and take out Combs and pinch hit Lucas Steele, the switch hitter.
Lucas Steele, saw him homer last week in the midweek. He's a junior from Hoover, Alabama. Played 2 years at Sanford, senior from Hoover, Alabama. But he was a SoCon Freshman of the Year and a freshman All-American. 7 runs batted in, 7 hits. And slow start this year, but bases loaded, 1 out. He's a good candidate to have off the bench.
Yes, he is. Been in the starting lineup. Had a slow start last year. Ended up coming on late and getting hot. Very experienced 4th-year bat. My partner talked about his 2 years at Sanford, freshman All-American, and next year 13 home runs. And as I said, slow start last year, ended up coming on hot for 9 home runs. This year, another slow start.
Got a 2-0 count here with the bases loaded. He was a DH in game 2 this weekend against Missouri, rather. 1 for 2 with a walk. Started at catcher in game 3 where he went 1 for 4. Hitters count 2-0, down and away. Tech's already walked in 1 run this inning. With the bases loaded walk to Brandon McCrane. He's on first. Bob Terrell waits 90 feet away on third.
Look for Lucas Steele to look for something he can do some damage on, and from the left side it's going to be inner part of the plate. If he gets a fastball that is on that half of the plate, he's got a chance to put a good swing on it. That was not a good swing. He did not get a fastball.
And I think he realized it about halfway through the swing.
He did. That's not a fastball. I can't stop.
3-2 takes it in the dirt. Another bases loaded walk. This time away Lucas Steele. Bob Terrell touches home. Tigers slowly starting to build on this lead as 6-1 Tigers.
Well, the 3-1 slider, that is some sort of guts. The base is loaded. I haven't thrown one yet. He lands it. He gets the sword from Steele. Tries to go back to it and misses. Steele lays off of it. Todd Clay has a chance to blow this game open.
Hometown kid from Auburn, Alabama. Auburn High School transferred in from UAB. Led the team 69 hits at a .361 average. He was the AAC Newcomer of the Year. Had a season high 3 hits in game 3 against Mizzou. Chopper up the middle. Second baseman Curse. Only play is to first. A low throw and Clay beats it out. Bingaman scores and the Tigers take a 7-1 lead.
This will go down as a hit. Shortstop tries to go, and you can see what the problem with some of these shifts are. Nobody is at second base. Clay runs well enough. And just the confusion of where bodies are in the shift just cost Georgia Tech a run.
7-1 Tigers with a 9-hole. K. Ballou, chopper to second. They get one at second off the bag. Steele has to dive back. And the Tigers have runners at the corners. Ballou drives in a run with a ground ball to the right side, scoring Brandon McCrane. 8-1 Tigers. Just 2 outs. And the Tigers still threatening with Chris Rembert.
Ballou jumps on first pitch, ground ball. He just runs too well. Curse at shortstop, knowing he's got no play at first base. Eats it, tries a spin move. Tries to catch Steele at third base, rounding the bag a little too far.
McHugh made the out for Tech. And that'll set up Chris Rembert. Rembert 1 for 3, had the shot for Auburn back in the second. First of the year, his 14th run batted in. Runner goes down in the left center field. RBI single. On the move is Ballou. He's waved home the score. Throw coming in and got a nice throw coming in from the middle infield from Georgia Tech. Tigers get one, but Georgia Tech ends the inning at the plate against Cade Ballou.
Rembert gets the fastball, drives it into the left center. Great relay. Georgia Tech gets out of the inning.
For the number 3 Yellow Jackets, they trail Auburn 9-1, but they make a big play as Georgia Tech, Greg, they throw out Cade Ballou at the plate. Nice relay coming in from the middle infield.
And Hernandez gets it in quickly, deep in the left center gap. Gets it into Kearse. Kearse throws an absolute strike to Drew Rogers to get Cade Ballou at home plate.
And a new pitcher on for the Tigers. They go with a sophomore right-hander, Christian Chatterton. And for Chatterton, the guy's got some good innings for the Tigers in just 2 years. A 1.74 ERA. This is his 5th appearance.
Threw well last year, got 14 games started. This year 2-0, 1.474, 10 innings. He has been the piggyback guy after Alvarez. Fastball is 88 to 91, and he has a plus changeup. Great screw action on it, really able to manipulate the velocity.
Andreas Alvarez, a pretty nice day at the office today for Auburn. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, career high 10 strikeouts. On Lackey at the plate to lead off the inning for Georgia Tech, and gets the first pitch strike in there from Chatterton. Lackey, don't let these numbers fool you today. He's had a heck of a start to this 2026 season. On the 0-1, fly ball left center. Bob Terrell beats Cade Ballou to it. And it's 1 down. Good start for Chatterton.
They've really pounded Lackey with curveballs. Struck him out twice. Backwards K's looking from Alvarez. That one he's not waiting around on, and Lackey swings at a changeup and just missed it.
Body on for Kent Schmidt. First baseman who's reached twice today, pair of walks. Batting 5th, just steady numbers throughout the middle of this lineup for Tech. Again, seeing it well. Auburn really hasn't given him a whole lot to hit, but he walked twice on full count, so he's been patient.
He's put up some big numbers, hitting 375 this year. You look around at the room and you're batting about 7th, 8th on the team in batting average.
Georgia Southern transfer. Put up big numbers there in 56 starts 2 years ago. It's a hook here. Chatterton able to even the count 2-2.
You see a little bit of the green sleeves too. Kent Schmidt playing the St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, my wife, she had a crisis this morning realizing in daycare we didn't wear green. 2-2. Schmidt unlucky there. Takes it, called strike 3. Chatterton comes in. Gets the first 2 out quickly.
Well, this isn't the book on Chatterton. He is not a guy that's going to attack you with a fastball. He's going to set you up with it and come with a changeup or that big curveball. Schmidt frozen on a 4-seam fastball inside top of the plate.
You didn't wear green today?
I did not. I don't wear green.
Soccerman. Blowing outside. Yeah, I got called out for not putting the kids in it this morning, and I'm like at 7:30 on a Tuesday, top 5 matchup later tonight. It never crossed my mind. 1-0 pitch.
Yeah, I got a text message as I was leaving to go to class. Don't forget it's St. Patrick's Day. I'm like, yeah, I'm past that. I'm way past that. I'm not
student
wearing green.
Or?
No, my wife.
All right. I don't know if one of your kids maybe too. 2-0
No.
pitch. Now you've got an easy excuse now with.
They didn't say a word.
But your son's at UAB.
Yeah.
And a lot of green up at UAB in Birmingham.
I got some green.
All right.
Could have wore the green sweatshirt from UAB.
Blazers came to town last week. Auburn got a big midweek win. 3-0 outside, 2-out walk. Zuckerman takes 4 out of the zone from Christian Chatterton.
That was just a little bit of a blink. You don't, sometimes it happens, you settle in, get a little complacent, you got 2 quick outs, just made a great AB out of Kent Schmidt. And then all of a sudden it's ball 1, ball 2. Now you're back on defense and you miss with the next 2.
Goes up and out on the off speed to Baker. Well, when that happens, you sometimes see this right here. Chase Fralick, the catcher, comes out to take command.
And Chase Fralick's done a great job. I mean, only a sophomore. You saw it last year. Really took command of the pitching staff. Will come out on his own, recognizing, hey, that's 5 straight balls. Let's settle things in. You had it on a roll. Let's get that train back on the track.
Well, I think about Chase Fralick too. That, you know, I mean, he came in with Ike Irish expected to be the catcher behind the plate, and Ike, obviously excellent hitter, can play some corner outfield, and it just so turned out it was better for Fralick to be behind the plate and Fralick to be in the outfield.
Well,
or excuse me, Irish to be in the outfield.
Yeah, Irish got hit by that pitch and fractured something in his back where he really couldn't catch most of the season, so they moved him out to right field. And Fralick just took over. Complete and utter take by Will Baker right there. Playing the game right, 6 straight balls. Does not even think about swinging at that last pitch.
Chatterton comes back, evens the count 2-2, and Hackett's trying to make something happen here with 2 outs. Give Auburn credit. Tigers answered an early strike from Georgia Tech in the first, but Auburn has scored 9 unanswered. And the 2-2 pitch, Christian Chatterton sits down Will Baker. And the tough day at the plate continues for the nation's toughest offense. 12 strikeouts today for Auburn pitching, 2 for Christian Chatterton. Headed to the home half of the 6th. And number 13, Georgia in Athens. Coverage begins at 6 Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. SEC softball, much like SEC baseball, in a top 25 matchup in just about nearly every series in the conference. New pitcher for Georgia Tech, Caden Campbell in the pitch, the lefty.
Caden Campbell, left-handed, 262, 205, senior, 4-pitch mix, fastball 88 to 92, sinker, slider, and a change. 2-1 on the year, 5.14. Another left-handed specialist out of the Georgia Tech bullpen.
And he gets the meat of Auburn's order. Chase Fralick, the 2-0 hitter, who's reached base every time today. Campbell comes in from Georgia Tech, pitched for the Yellow Jackets last year, but also spent 2 seasons at Louisville, the big-time college baseball program. Second most appearances on the team back in 2024, where he went 3-1. Well, Fralick today, 2 doubles, a walk, 2 runs scored. Leads off the 6th for Auburn. Tigers had a big 5th inning, 5 runs in the 5th. Chase Fralick started the rally with that walk. comes in. Fralick gets jammed, makes it a ball and 1 strike. What's made Fralick so tough to pitch to today?
I mean, it's just that flat swing. He's in the zone for a long time. And that's one of the baffling things of the new game, of the launch, the lift angle of the swings, trying to go deep, is you're not in the strike zone very long. Well, Fralick is in the strike zone, and I'm talking about his bat and his swing. Stays through the zone for a long time, gives him a chance to hit multiple pitches, multiple locations.
And for guys like that, Greg, and I'm asking to learn, is it more natural to do it that way, or is it just the way he's learned to hit, or a little both?
Well, I mean, I think it's more natural, and I think it's a little bit unnatural to get these guys with the launch angles that they're swinging at now. But for him, being a tennis player, how are you going to return a ball if everything you're trying to do is, you know, hit it over the screen?
And with his tennis background, I always wonder if any of his teammates have ever taken him up on a challenge.
Nope.
I'm with you.
I mean, I think he had. Oh, now we're back to the top of the zone being open. All right.
Gotta love it though if you're number 49, Caden Kim. Kenny Cricks calling the balls and strikes today. Payoff pitch. This time outside. Fralick gets the walk. His on-base percentage perfect today.
Yeah. 2 doubles, 2 walks. That was a good at bat. But right now with this strike zone, Danny Cricks was calling bottom of the zone and a little bit below, and not the ball at the waist. The last 2 innings, I think he realizes it's 40 degrees. I'm starting to call the things at the waist.
Bob Terrell, a 2-hit day, but before he'll have a chance, mound visit for Georgia Tech and for Auburn. Right now 9 runs off 10 hits, and where you are in this part of the lineup, and got to make sure there are no mistakes right now if you're in that Georgia Tech dugout.
Well, this is pitching coach Matt Taylor, 7 years in the Orioles chain, coming out just to have a conversation about where everything's at. They got a righty warming up. You got the lefty Bub Terrell, so you got the lefty-lefty matchup. But you're 2 runs away from possibly getting run out of this thing. Hey, let's lock in. You got to get Bub Terrell right here. Now, whether they bring the righty in to face Bingaman, but
watch Bub Terrell right here. As time's called, Terrell just staying ready.
I'm just looking at him and laughing, to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I like it. I appreciate it, but it's just funny to me. I'm going, you're not intimidating me by standing there doing that, but it is funny.
Pitch outside, ball 1. He's got something working today. 2 for 3 with a double, single, RBI, and a run scored. Tied the game with an RBI double in the first. Pitch out. Shot by Rogers.
Well, this might make my decision if I'm the pitching coach or the head coach of Georgia Tech very easy. If he does not get Bub Terrell out, that righty's coming in. If he locks back in and gets Terrell out, I might leave him in for Bingaman, and then he faces a left-hander McCrane. I could be a good pitching coach. I mean, it's really simple. All right, you get this guy out, you stay in. If you don't, you're out.
Did your sons enjoy that coming up?
I think they enjoyed it later in life when they realized that the brutal honesty of what this game is.
Sure. But you have a much more relaxing job with me up here in the booth, right?
Yeah.
Slow roller, top play left side. Charging is Curse. Back across and got him. Close play. Curse gets the 6-3 out. We'll see if Auburn takes a look at it. I don't think they will.
Carson Curse, silky smooth at shortstop. Watch how routine he makes this play. Bang, bang. Bub trying to sell the safe call.
Auburn is choosing to challenge, and based off the view we just got, Greg, I don't know if this one will be overturned.
I just, with pen, wrote 6-3.
I did as well.
Yeah, in pen. I have whiteout somewhere in my bag, but I am not reaching for it, which is me saying he is out at first base, 6-3.
Well, and for Carson Kearse and Georgia Tech, this is the second close play he's had today. I mean, ball's in the mitt of Kent Schmidt before Terrell gets his foot on the green bag.
It's close.
Yeah.
I mean, Carson Kearse just makes this very difficult play very routine.
Well, and credit where credit's due. Jeremy Dupree, without replay, gets it right.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think it was that hard, but. And Bub Terrell went. Bub Terrell didn't stay at first base. Bub Terrell went running in.
Tigers lead it 9-1. Carson Kearse throws out Cade Ballou to end the 5th inning. Here he gets the first out of the 6th inning, and the bats aren't where Georgia Tech wants them today. And there's a call coming back to the field, but he's been a bright spot.
The call is out at first base.
So call is out. Second base umpire Morris Hodges confirms the call. So you were right with your pin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that one was an easy one. But you don't get to take the challenges with you, so you might as well use one.
Sure. Number one challenge remaining. After Campbell gets the out, another pitching change coming in for Georgia Tech. And Carson Ballard on the other side of this break. Bottom of the 6th, still working. 9-1, Tigers on top. All right.
Yeah, really good numbers so far this year. Fastball's going to be 89-92. Cutter 83-86, and the slider 74-85.
What's unique about Carson, where's number 21 for Georgia Tech? And that is the Jim Poole tradition, Greg, a former teammate of yours.
Yeah, Jim Poole passed away a couple years ago with ALS. He and I played when he was at Georgia Tech. We played on Team USA together. And then we played again with the Orioles after he had a stint with the Dodgers. Great man, loved him, loved his family.
Swing by Bingaman on the warning track is caught by Hernandez for the second out.
But they give that jersey number out every year. I love that. That is really special. Means a lot to me.
That's something that, again, that you talk about bigger than sports or bigger than results. I mean, that's credit to that Georgia Tech program and Coach Ramsey keeping that alive.
Yeah, at Jim's funeral, again, a couple years ago, Danny Hall came in with the whole Georgia Tech team. They were not full uniform, but Georgia Tech baseball tops. It's just, you saw the respect that Jim was out there working with those kids when he was able to. And so he meant a lot to this Georgia Tech team as a player, as I wouldn't even call him an assistant coach, but a friend of the program to come out and spread his knowledge.
You mentioned Coach Danny Hall. What a career. Goodness, retired after 38 seasons. And, I mean, one of the reasons Georgia Tech is one of the most well-respected baseball programs in the ACC and in the country.
Yeah, very well-respected head coach. And finally passed the torch to James Ramsey. I actually met Coach Hall back in my time when I was with the Orioles, early 90s. He was at Miami of Ohio. And when he made the move to Georgia Tech, we went on strike or were locked out. Depends on what side of the fence you were looking at in 1994. And I called Coach Hall. And I said, hey, Coach, you know, we're locked out. You got a catcher I can use while we're here.
3-2 down, no swings. There's Eric O'Shea.
And Coach Hall's like, yeah, I got this really good young catcher. I think you really like him. I was like, cool. So I go out and we go to some high school field somewhere, and it's Jason Veritek.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and how about some history there that Georgia Tech has with big leaguers, and Jason Veritek, World Series winner with the Red Sox, one of them. And of course, can't forget Nomar Garcia-Parra, back-to-back ACC Freshman of the Year winners. Hey, they got
Not a bad duo.
got another duo on the roster now that just did the same thing. Hernandez won it in 25. Drew Burris did it in 24.
It's pretty impressive having those 4 guys on your rosters.
I'll tell you, you'll laugh at this. Here's how I knew Georgia Tech was a great baseball program growing up before I really started researching them. As college baseball game on PS2 in elementary school, they were one of the few schools that actually had their home stadium featured in the game. 1-2's in the dirt. Rogers has to chase it. Long throw and got him. Georgia Tech, 2 close plays at first. They don't allow a run. Through 6 at Plainsman Park. Tigers still lead it 9-1. By a long shot, one of the best offenses in the country, Greg, today. Tough day at the office at the plate. Credit Auburn pitching for that. A run,
Yeah.
12 strikeouts, 2 for 20, but also, too, it goes to show you one game doesn't tell the full story, but at the same time, credit to where credit's due for Auburn. Still top 5 matchup midweek, but Georgia Tech, this is one they'll look back and this one will make them better, I think, at some point in the year.
Well, I mean, Alvarez was really, really good. So the old mantra in baseball is good pitching beats good hitting every time. So you got that aspect of it. But my part that I love is Ramsey is sitting out there getting ready to run out to third base, and he is coaching them up.
Yeah.
He is fired up. He is trying to light a fire to get this offense going. They got 9 outs left. You know, yeah, you feel like you're getting kicked in the teeth, but you still got 9 outs left, and you still got the most potent offense in America. And that's what I loved about seeing that first-year coaches going, I am not watching this. There's Alvarez's numbers. That's what I was talking about. The 3 walks, a little unusual. The 10 Ks, absolutely lights out dominant.
Georgia Tech coming off the huge series win this past weekend. Took 2 out of 3 at Clemson. And had to turn right back around, face Auburn. Auburn's got a tough challenge this weekend as that one comes in and plunks Rogers a free base and a leadoff hitter aboard. But
okay, it's 9-1. Yeah, you just hit a guy with a changeup. But the one thing I'm very aware of as a former pitcher, my whole life I was a bullpen guy in the big leagues. You know how momentum swings and swells. They just got out of a jam, a little bit of fire. Their coach is trying to light them up. They were looking for anything. You do not want to give them anything.
Really enjoyed my pregame conversation with Coach Ramsey, and again, excited to see how Tech finishes this game, because I'm with you. I'm just waiting for it to come alive. Quick meeting on the bump here between Chatterton and the second base umpire, by the way.
I think he was telling him that he can go to his mouth. I mean, that's completely legal. You gotta, if you're gonna lick your fingers, you have to wipe it. But kind of unusual that right away Chatterton looks over and they call timeout, and Chatterton throws the ball out of into the Auburn dugout, and then Morris Hodges, second base umpire, has the conversation. I mean, I'm so old. I remember I couldn't lick my fingers in the dirt circle.
So
that would be it, I guess, is he licked his hand or he blew into his hand and didn't wipe it off.
Scott into right. Routine for McCrane. Long wait. One away.
I mean, Brett, it's baseball's great. I love baseball. But the finger licking thing is archaic. Okay? The last spitball that I remember probably was Phil Necro back in the early 70s. There are not spitballs. So the reason that rule was put in place was so that you couldn't lick your finger and then get on the mound and throw a nasty spitball.
So you never mastered the spitball?
I actually did have the really good one.
Did you?
Hal Baird taught me one. And it was just a problem of one out of every 5 spitball that I threw went 40 feet. It's not an exact science with a load of spit between your fingers and the baseball and you're pinching it right at release. But it was the nastiest thing I've ever thrown in my life. Ever.
Did it ever make an appearance in the major leagues?
No.
Not even
No,
once.
I never brought it into the field of play at college here. That's where he taught it to me.
Find it interesting Hal Baird, of all people, taught you that?
Well, you wouldn't think that you would see a spitball anymore. It looks like a split finger fastball, and he was a teacher of many pitches, and hey, try it.
Baird, the longtime coach from 85 to 2000, and Butch Thompson being tough to tell you he's the person that built this place.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Got here in 1984 and put an end to some strings of not making the SEC tournament, not making a regional in a decade.
Chatterton hits one, walks one with 1 out.
That'll probably get a little bit of movement going on in the Auburn bullpen. I see a right-hander firing. LJ Cormier. Is going to speed things up. By the look that he just got from somebody, gave the thumbs up, and he is in a little bit hotter mode right now.
Well, look at where you're at in the Georgia Tech lineup. I mean, first and second, just 1 out. The meat of the order up. Alex Hernandez here. He's got 1 of the 2 hits today for Tech.
Offensive timeout. Hernandez is having a conversation. James Ramsey. Since I've never had one of these, I'm just going to assume that we're talking about what sequence is coming 0-1.
Never had one, not once?
No. It was not a thing. When I hit in high school, it was not a thing.
Sure. How many ABs total did you have in the bigs?
I had 5.
Only 5?
Only 5.
All right.
Yep.
One of them obviously was very memorable.
1 for 4 with a home run, and I got walked. I think the walk might have been as memorable as the home run. I'm going, what are you doing?
What was the conversation like in the clubhouse after the home run? I mean, that had to have been one of your more, I guess, entertaining nights in the clubhouse.
It was, yeah. I actually should have got the win that night through about 3 innings. And got 2 at bats, struck out the first time, and then the second time facing the same guy. Got him for my only major league hit.
0-2, Hernandez down looking. Strike zone, but Chatterton, what a finish.
I mean, where that curveball comes through at the beginning of the zone, where at home plate, that curveball is at the knees or above. It really is. So where it gets caught, yes, it's below the zone, but where it comes into the front of the zone is a strike in my world. And that low zone has been there. It disappeared for about a half an inning.
Sets up Avicula, second baseman, and the RBI single in the first inning. He's got another RBI opportunity here with first and second and 2 outs. RBI earlier, his 25th. And Fralick being a wall for Chatterton.
Yes, he has. He's done a great job behind the plate, managing the staff, keeping everything in front. This will be a big out for Chatterton right here.
1-1 breaking ball turns foul late. And for Avicula, you'll take that because now it's just a 1-2 count and instead of a ground ball to end the inning.
Yeah, he's put together some good swings.
Yeah.
Single to left field was a great piece of hitting. Lined out to left field, struck out his last at bat. But you can see why they got him batting in the 3-hole. Really great bat to ball skills.
One-two, fights off a fastball, and well, Avicula, good swings. I've enjoyed watching his defense today some too.
Yeah, no, totally agree. He's been really good, very solid player.
Well, really, the middle infield with Avicula and Curse at short. Yeah. I mean, doesn't get much better than that.
Nope, I agree.
Spoiled a really good breaking ball from Christian Chatterton.
I mean, that pitch before that he was able to foul off that 90-mile-an-hour fastball after a couple of slow curveballs at 74 thoroughly impressed me, because now I'm going, all right, I feel like you're going to be on time for a curveball. You've seen that, so here I'm going to light you up with a fastball.
And this is where you can see, I think, his experience really show. Transferred in from Cal. By the way, got a 5-game hit streak extended now with a single in the first inning.
He was 4th in D1 baseball last year with 81 hits.
He gets another here through the left side into left. Wave home is Rogers. And he'll score standing up. Tech gets a run late. Makes it 9-2 to cut into this Auburn lead. Second RBI single of the day for Jaron Avicula.
I talked about it. He was getting on time. He was pulling the curveballs in. This one he stays inside. A little bit of Ichiro. Stays inside, carves it through shortstop. Auburn in a modified shift. I mean, you can sit there and second guess, but boy, he fouled off some good pitches, so you're going, okay, I got to go back to the curveball. He hadn't kept one in play yet. You know, if I can get this thing at the back foot, maybe I get the strikeout. Doesn't quite get there. And you can see why he was 4th in D1 baseball last year. The guy can flat out hit and can control a bat.
Well, 2-out hitting, the way he fought off with 2 strikes, I mean, you think he was inches away from grounding out to first in the inning. Pinch hitter on. It is Parker Brocious in the pinch hit for the ACC Player of the Week and Von Lackey.
We got those signs going on at second base again. Same guy at second base giving him, Burris. Left hand out, fastball, right hand out, breaking ball.
0-2, foul tip to the mitt for strike 3. And Chatterton able to pitch himself out of a jam in the 7th. Tech gets one back. It's stretch time at Plainsman Park. Tigers lead it by 7. 2 for 17 with runners on, but Amenkula, 2 singles, 2 RBI singles. Tech struck out 14 times, and then Chris Rimbert having a day, big home run. He's got 3 RBIs as the Tigers come to the plate. 7-8-9 due up. Lucas Steele did not start the game. He's in the middle of this order. Alvarez, though, he is the highlight for Auburn. 5 innings, career high 10 strikeouts today, and he does it in a midweek against a top 5 opponent.
Yeah, Alvarez was absolutely dominant. Other than the first inning, little blip, couple of walks. Was able to navigate it. Keeps this huge Georgia Tech offense at bay.
Still takes outside, 2-2, and got a walk and an RBI with the bases loaded in his 1 at bat of the day. And caught looking low on the outside corner. Carson Ballard gets the K to start the 7th.
Slider bottom of the zone. That's been there all day. Lucas doesn't like it. Has a couple words that I can't say on the air.
But as a pitcher, you love that zone, right?
I mean, it was fine when the top half wasn't opened up, and now the top half opened up. That's what Lucas is saying. Was the slider before that barely caught the top half and was called a strike. And then now you go below the bottom half, and that's called a strike. And it's one of those days where I think it's 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And, you know, might be one of those conversations, hey, it's cold, swing the bat.
I only say that jokingly, knowing you.
I like big strike zones.
Having the privilege of working with you, I've never heard you question a big strike zone before. So
not a bit. I'm not saying every one of those that he has called is a strike in my mind.
Sure. As a hitter, it's tough.
As a hitter, they would probably all disagree.
2-2, back-to-back Ks. How about Carson Ballard coming out? Again, talk about wanting to see your team compete if you're James Ramsey. You talked about it last half inning. I mean, it's 9-2. Getting some good innings here in relief.
Yeah, he is solid. He is showing a couple different looks. I mean, Jim Poole would be proud watching Carson Ballard out there because it's crafty. It's doing things differently. I saw a 70-mile-an-hour changeup. You know, I've seen a couple different breaking balls. And there's just this little bit of leg kick funk to it. He's out there just inventing and imagining. That was one thing I never could do. I never could go out there and go, you know, I'm going to try this. This would be fun. But he threw a 70-mile-an-hour changeup to Steele.
He struck out the last 3 Auburn hitters, got McCrane in the 6th, and then Steele and Clay. Here with the bases empty, 2 outs. Now a strike away against Cade Ballou.
There's about 4 different speeds in velo on his slider. So, okay, yeah, you think you got it spin, you think you know what's coming. And the velo is not what you expected.
Watches that in the dirt. Well, he's got it going a little today with a single in the 2nd. Got on a fielder's choice in the 5th. He had the close play at home plate. Carson Kurz from short cut off a throw from left field. And on the 3-2, how about striking out the side for Carson Ballard? He gets Steele, Clay, and Ballou. A quick 1-2-3 inning.
Carson Ballard carving it up. Slider bottom of the zone. Punch out 1. Slider out of the zone, punch out 2. Slider down and in, punch out 3.
LJ Cormier on the pitch for Auburn in the top of the 8th. 9-2, Tigers lead is a freshman from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Gregor, very familiar with his dad, but LJ earned an opportunity. Got an outing last week against UAB, pitched well. Here he is again in the midweek, 6 2/3 this year.
Good two-seam fastball, breaking ball last week against UAB, 1 inning, 3 strikeouts. Gets another shot this week in the midweek.
It's funny how that works, right?
Yep, it really is. You throw well, you get more work. You don't throw well, it's hard to get your work.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 3-pitch strikeout for Cormier to start his outing in the 8th.
Really throwing well, breaking ball top of the zone. And Kent Schmidt's going, I'm not dealing with you anymore.
I think him and Lucas Steele might could share some things in common, right?
Well, it started with Schmidt when the zone moved back up. And then he just walked off. I mean, I appreciate the professionalism because it's just, what am I going to say?
Hard hit ground ball to Chris Remberg off the bat of Zuckerman. And how about 5 pitches and 2 outs for LJ Cormier?
I mean, that's what we saw last week. He gets ahead. He pounds the zone. He's a freshman. He's not afraid of the moment. Walks in. And look at him. He's already up there waiting on the hitter to come engaged. He's going, let's go.
Working fast, gets another first pitch strike. That's 3 this inning.
I talked about it last week. I mean, he pitched before that. His last outing was in Nebraska, so he'd gone 9 days. So now he is at 7 days. And to stay this ready, this sharp, is thoroughly impressive.
Working fast, he's in rhythm, he's confident. Well, Baker's trying to break that confidence for Georgia Tech. 0-2 hook. Other one to the right side as Remberg stepping and throwing, and a 1-2-3 inning for LJ Cormier. Middle of the 8th. Tigers are 3 outs away. They lead Georgia Tech 9-2. Loveliest village on the plains. Just over 2 hours to tip for the NIT. Tigers with one of the longest active win streaks, joined by their counterpart in the SEC, Kentucky, coming off a sweep of Alabama this weekend at 13 wins. And of course, UCLA, top team in the country, on an 11-game winning streak. Auburn, I think, is going to open some eyes if they hang on and win. They're up 9-2 in the bottom of the 8th. New pitcher in for Georgia Tech, and it will be Justin Shattuck, the sophomore, in the pitch. Getting some late inning work against some Auburn offense, and scored 9 runs off 10 hits today.
Sophomore right-hander, 6'6". Fastball's 94 to 100. Cutter, slider, and a curveball. And as you said, and I've talked about, and you start getting a little bit of work in, you start throwing well, you start getting better innings, you start working on the weekend. Big outing, big inning.
Well, back to your point, I think Carson Ballard at Georgia Tech may earn some more innings after this outing today. He pitched well. Now Shattuck will have an opportunity here against the top of this Auburn lineup. Rembert, Freilich, Terrell.
Carson Ballard, 4 punch outs out of the 5 outs that he got.
Shattuck. Something off on the first pitch to Rembert. Rembert, nice day, 2 for 4. Home run, 3 runs batted in.
Nice pick behind home plate right there on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball in the dirt.
Oh, catcher today for Georgia Tech, not the everyday catcher, who is Von Lackey. And getting the nod today is Drew Rogers. Rogers making his 12th start. Not uncommon to see a change in the midweek.
Rogers, one of the top catchers in the country, out of Tempe, Arizona a couple years ago.
This day in college baseball, I mean, you almost have to have 2 catchers.
Yeah.
Got to be 2 catchers deep with the workload. And ground ball to short, Rembert to Curse. Routine, 6-3. Rembert with a good effort. Curse been smooth all afternoon in the middle infield.
Good fastball down bottom of the zone. Rembert's able to put a good swing on it.
You staying up late for the basketball game tonight?
I will for a little bit.
Just asking.
Yeah.
Just asking.
I will for a little bit.
Doubleheader today on the Plains. Auburn, Georgia Tech baseball. What a day to start it, right? I mean, a top 5 baseball matchup. Students get in free.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day on the Plains.
Auburn and Georgia Tech, again, they have such a history. 249th meeting. Pitch is down for strike 1. I mean, these 2 schools just over 100 miles apart. No reason they shouldn't be playing every year.
Yeah, well, I mean, 249th game, and their 250th game will be on March 31st.
This one carrying deep into the canyon, leaping up. Burris with the hops to get there and hangs on to it as he falls to the warning track. Nice play by the center fielder.
First fastball that Freilich sees. Mid-90s, drives it out of the deepest part of this ballpark. And Drew Burris, 2-time All-American, runs it down.
And the captain runs into the wall, hangs on to it, pops right back up. And Georgia Tech, well, tough day today, down 9-2 in the 8th, but again, expect to see them at the top of the ACC where they were picked. And expect this team, Greg, this is going to be a team all throughout June people are looking at. The 0-1. Terrell gets a strike inside. Shattuck looking good. Retired the first 2 hitters, ahead 0-2 against Terrell.
Up Terrell calling Gabe Gross out of the dugout, offensive timeout. Everything's moving real fast. He didn't agree with that pitch on the bottom of the zone. So talking to one of the best that ever played here on the Plains, Gabe Gross, trying to find out, hey, what do you think my approach should be? This guy's hit 100 in his life, and he's not throwing very many fastballs, but he's throwing them late in the counts.
Back to work against Shattuck. Takes one opposite field and gets it through for a base hit. About a 3-hit day for Bob Terrell. Game-tying RBI double in the first. Not a single in the fifth, not a single here in the eighth.
Bub just gave a look back into the dugout, and Gabe tipped his cap to Bub. So Gabe must have said something about, hey, he's got a good curveball, go sit up there and look for that. And Bub does it and slices one into left field on a pretty nasty hook.
Well, a couple things. Gabe's got to feel pretty good about his coaching right now, right? But how about Terrell being coachable? First pitch in. He's in at 93 inside on Bingham.
I mean, to go back to your hitting coach, hey, what do you think right here after you've seen a couple of late fastballs at 93? But Bub had seen a lot of curveballs today. Pretty good call. That's a pretty good hook.
On Shattuck. Yeah, though he gives up the 2-out singles. Had pretty good stuff here in the eighth. Commanding the zone. There's 1-1 against Bingham, and runner goes. Throw down, slide from Terrell is in time. Good effort by Rogers behind the plate. I thought he gave the second baseman, Amagula, a chance, but Terrell swipes the bag, and that's his second of the year.
Yeah, I thought there was no chance. Rogers throws an absolute strike.
Good breaking ball gets ruined by Bingham.
Terrell with his second stolen base on the year. He's 2 out of 4.
One-two back to Bingham.
96.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's a show-me pitch. He's showing change-ups and curveballs. And then here's 96.
well, and that's where I go back to the back half of this pin. I think some of these guys are earning some future outings.
Yeah.
If they can close the door here. Shattuck a strike away as a runner on second. 1-2 into center field. Drifting back Burris, inning over. Justin Shattuck gives up the 2-out single, and we have 3 outs to play. Headed to the ninth. 5th-ranked Auburn Tigers leads number 3 Georgia Tech 9-2. Victory over Georgia Tech. Cold, chilly day at the ballpark, but the fans, they have showed up for this doubleheader on the Plains today, starting with Auburn and Georgia Tech baseball. Pinch hitter at the plate, and Caleb Daniel to lead off the inning. Daniel was in the starting lineup, had the late scratch. He gets an at-bat here in the ninth. Sophomore out of Cartersville, Georgia. Good average this year, too, hitting .339 behind 20 hits. Again, like we talked about with Auburn and Georgia Tech, talk about depth. I mean, Tech, they have the depth just as Auburn does, if not more.
He was the number 17 catcher out of Cartersville. Last year, freshman All-American, hit .316, 7 bombs, 50 RBI. He's been a main cog in the lineup. Just don't know what the late scratch was.
It's the strikeout, L.J. Cormier. Came in dealing in the 8th. He continues that here in the 9th.
This one's a changeup. Shows a fastball, gets a foul ball, comes back with something that Daniel has not seen yet. He'd seen the big overhand curveball and a fastball. Now here comes a nasty little wipeout changeup. Gotta feel like if the starters weren't going so deep on the weekends, and even with the Tuesday mix of Alvarez and Chatterton, Cormier might be moving up the ladder and getting some more innings because he is just dealing once a week.
And on the flip side, with that many strikeouts today for Georgia Tech, season high 16. That was frustrating, but how did they overcome that? And they go on the road to Pitt this weekend.
You just throw it off to the side. Bad night, good pitching, cold. Run through whatever scenarios you want to run through. You got to kick it to the curb and move on. You know, Auburn's been a good team. We talked about how good this offense has been, but Auburn's pitching staff's first in the nation in strikeouts to walk ratio. They're first in the nation in walks per 9 inning. They're second in the nation in ERA. They're second in the nation in WHIP. And then they got hits per 9 inning. They're 9th. Shutouts, they're 9th. I mean, you just walked into a buzzsaw. And so you go, all right, hopefully we won't see the same thing at Pitt. And let's take some BP and get some things going tomorrow.
Cormier falls behind 2-0. Auburn 2 outs away. On the flip side, what does this do for Auburn's resume tonight?
Certainly doesn't hurt. Yeah, they're going to find out, you know, I mean, going into Columbia and taking 3 is impressive. It really is. It's a very hard place to play. The weather is generally awful.
Yeah.
And so you got those factors. Missouri was supposed to be on a big uptick as a baseball team, and Auburn went in there and, you know, broke out the offense game 3, but pitched themselves to 3 wins.
Well, Mizzou was on a 13-game winning streak going into that series. I mean,
so yeah, and you don't go in anywhere and sweep the first weekend. Chase Freilich on that foul tip. I don't know if he got dirt in his eye. That's what he got. But so that's where Auburn's at. I mean, they're in great shape, but we're going to find out a lot more against number 2 Texas coming in Friday.
Greg, you and I had that one Friday night, and
yep.
I tell you, for Auburn to come in today, I was interested how they were going to approach this. And, you know, for Auburn, it's been very straightforward. We worry about today. We worry about tomorrow. And especially in ACC or Georgia Tech in the ACC, I know that they had their fair share of tough matchups too, but in the sport of baseball, that's just how you have to take it, especially in the Southeastern Conference and the ACC. 2-1 chopped foul.
Yeah, I mean, they go up to Clemson and take 2 out of 3. They lose game 3. So they got a little bit of figuring out what they want to do on the third day matchups, because they've lost both of those in the ACC. So they're 4-2. They're in a good spot.
Ball in the dirt.
But I think if Georgia Tech can get a little bit of offense going right here, put a run up, maybe 2 runs up, you know, all right, you know, we can throw this one aside. Bad night. Auburn's coming to our place in a couple weeks.
Mile high, tough play. McCrane, he's there, tracked it all the way. Tigers aren't out of way.
Burris had an unusually quiet night. 0 for 3, couple of walks. That one was just a nice changeup by Cormier on the outside part of the plate. Got him out front.
Cormier's got to go through Alex Hernandez. One of the top hitters in this Tech lineup. Auburn dugout caught the hops to stay warm.
I guess. I don't know. That's a new tradition for me. I haven't seen that one out of the dugout.
All right, how many days away are we from the unwritten rules of baseball?
I think the season starts a little bit early this year, doesn't it?
Yeah. Got to get my subscriptions lined up. Slow roller, stays fair. Glove by Clay, back across the stretch for the win, and the Tigers secure it. Auburn defeats Georgia Tech 9-2. That's the 5th straight against Tech. You can think it to a 5-run 5th inning. Tigers looked impressive this afternoon, adding again their 5th straight against a very good Georgia Tech team.
Yeah. Alvarez was absolutely dominant on the mound. 5 innings, 10 strikeouts. Really shut this big Georgia Tech offense down. Rembert, 3 RBIs. Terrell, a big double, score 1 early. And then it just goes down the list. Gregorio had an RBI. Clay had an RBI. Ballou had an RBI. Most of those all happened in the 5th inning that blew this game wide open.
Tigers back in action on Friday night. Another top 5 matchup. Number 2 Texas comes to town. For Greg Olson, I'm Rip Bowen saying so long from Auburn, Alabama. Our final score tonight, Auburn defeats Georgia Tech by a score of 9-2.